Hey there, and welcome, Twitch. My name is Adam, and this is the Noobcast, where we are talking about all the hottest releases coming up this week in PC gaming. We have a fantastic panel for you this week. We have some fresh. We have a fresh face, but an important one. This week we're talking about 11. So we're talking about 7 total games out of the 153 that came out this week. Because there just isn't enough content in the world. We are going to be doing a raffle just like last week. So hop on to opnoobs.com/raffle, get signed up, and you have a chance to win Call of Duty World War II in case you really like microtransactions. All right. So we're going to hop right into it. So releasing this Tuesday is a game, definitely a series that we're all familiar with. Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. So I put this on the list for a couple of reasons, guys. We haven't talked much about re-releases and value adds to the customer in that regard. So
can you never use the word value add again? Because
I can't help it. I'm a businessman. I'm wearing a button-up shirt, Chris.
I just
is that what makes you business? Because
so Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition includes all available content to date. Experience Shadow of the Tomb Raider featuring the final chapter of Lara Croft's origin story. The season pass containing multiple challenging tombs, missions, weapons, and outfits, Croft Edition bonuses, and all the new Definitive Edition Croft Fitness outfit and additional gameplay adjustments. God, that description was exhausting. Okay.
I could feel you die as you went further and further along in it. That was kind of cool.
It's just like, so, I mean, there was a time where all that shit that I said at the end there, that was just the game. That was just included. It was all in there already. But now, like, it's this long list as if it's this big value add to the customer. So
cake now with eggs and butter.
Exactly. So guys, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was pretty well received. So we can definitely talk about the merits of the game itself. I know there was definitely quality there, but I do want to talk about re-releases.
Mic off.
How do we feel like this is giving something to the customer, or this is giving something more to the company?
It sounds gratuitous to me. I mean, if it's a game that came out several years ago that was highly rated and everything, and everyone really loved it, and then they just said, hey, you know what? We've been sitting on this really cool DLC that we thought the world should see, so here it is. I think in that kind of scenario, that's kind of cool and gets people who really are fans of the game to kind of get engaged again. But this game is not that old.
No.
And the enhancements don't really sound that enhanced.
I don't get it. I actually wrote
outfits, Kate. You can dress her up. What more do you want?
You get to see Lara Croft in yoga pants, just like we all wanted.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly where that's going.
So I don't understand what they're doing, because I actually wrote the review for this for OP News on the website when it first released, which wasn't that long ago. And so I don't understand what the definitive edition is. So if it's just all the included DLCs and new outfits, so many people have already bought the season pass.
It sounds to me like the definitive edition. It sounds like they're just admitting we haven't really made the game yet.
This is
like,
done.
Hey, we released like half the game, and then we made you buy it in pieces. Now we're actually done.
Thank you.
So now you can actually buy the game.
Yeah, early access. Yeah,
I gotta say that sounds kind of bullshitty to me, right? I mean, fine, you want to be in early access, call it early access, be in early access, and then have a release like the rest of the world does.
Chris and I were talking about this, that another game put out called Space Hulk Deathwing. I think when it initially released, it was really bad and really buggy and not good. And then they released the definitive edition, and they fixed all their bugs, and it made it better, and it had performance. And I was like, is that what this is? Because when this released, I didn't see any bugs.
I mean, just fucking call your early access game early access. We have that, right? Yeah. So do it and use it. And stop selling me a bullshit game, calling it finished, selling me outfits and bullshit as DLC, and then finally someday down the road, and it's only a couple months down the road, then you say, hey, we're finally done. All you dumbasses who paid for it up front and fought through our shitty buggy game and bought all of our DLC, hey, now you can buy the full. I don't know. I get it from a business perspective, but stop it. Call it early access. It is what it is.
On the website, it says that you experience the final chapter of Lara Croft's. So is this like the 8th DLC? Let's say that again. 8? 8?
Yeah.
This is 8?
When I see this, I have to ask myself how much of this content was made well before release.
I don't know anybody's still playing the damn game.
Yeah, I played it when it first came out. I really liked it, but I think everybody's right. This is totally a money grab. Like, it's Lara Croft Barbie.
It's basically what Marvel did with re-releasing Endgame with just like a few minutes of extra footage that were worthless just to push it over the top film of all time mark, which, bully for them. I'm glad it's not Avatar because I hate that movie. But, but this kind of feels the same way. It sort of feels like, hey, we just, we need to pay off somebody or people need Christmas gifts or something.
So here's the as a man wearing a button-up shirt. Let me devil's advocate.
Credibility is high.
Allow me to be the suit, the corporate guy. So I guess I would just say,
explain this to us.
I guess I could just say that this is just a package that is something like we put it all in one purchase. So rather than go check out Payday 2, which is a game I used to really, really like, and go look at the long list of DLCs. It's an instant turnoff. And so you could say that rather than them digging through the archives of I want this DLC package, not that one, blah 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 blah, you just pack it all up and say, here it is, $60. Does that is that compelling to anyone?
No, because the people who are going to buy this again are the people who might have bought the season pass for the original damn game for the 8 DLCs. So why are they going to buy it again in a package when they have the package?
Minus yoga pants.
Minus,
I guess
possibly the final chapter.
Excuse me while I pull out my MBA. I think the value proposition here is not for somebody who already has the game. It's for somebody who didn't buy the game, didn't buy the DLCs. Now it's a little bit down the road.
Something they can put on sale.
They know that it's not really huge popular, and this is kind of, it's on sale. Here, buy it all at once. It's all on sale.
Just in time for the holidays.
I get that, I guess, from that perspective, but not trying to sell it to me again, but all right, look, you weren't into this enough to go buy all the DLCs and to fight your way through it, but maybe you're into it enough to buy it all at a discount now, right before Christmas. All right, I kind of get it from that perspective, but I don't know, this whole DLC thing, I'm tired of it. I'm just fucking tired of it, and I wish they would just fucking stop.
Value added. If it's good DLC, I'll buy it.
Well, the only thing that really makes sense to me is that they're basically trying to appeal to people who didn't get a chance to play it when it first came around. Yeah. And that's pretty much the only real rationale I can see and why they would do that now. So it's like, you heard about it, it was pretty cool, and all your friends played it, but you didn't because you're playing something better. And so here's your chance to play it.
So this. So I'm looking at the non-definitive edition Steam page. So the game came out September 4th. So September 14th, 2018. So it's about a year old. I don't know if this is if this is prime time for a victory lap on your great amazing game.
With 8 DLCs.
I know we have a limited time per game. Can I get one other thing out while we're here?
No.
Yeah. Are we not fucking done with Lara Croft yet?
No.
Have you been on the internet?
No. How many of these? When is this over?
Never ending.
Well, I mean, for someone, I worked on Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I loved working on that game, and I love the writing of Rhianna Pratchett, who really kind of breathed a new life into the character. So if we continue with that kind of consistency, I don't have any problem with seeing more adventures of Lara Croft, but only if it kind of hits that high bar.
I'm just tired of it. I'm just like, there's X amount of breathable air for big franchises, and it feels like we're just like, look, there's the 6. There's going to be another Mario. There's going to be another Zelda. There's going to be another Lara Croft. Look, if you want to make a big game, you got to use one of these licenses. It's very difficult to try to build a big new AAA license anymore, because unless you are another friggin' Tomb Raider, you can't do it again. So, just from that perspective, I'm not going to play this. I'm just tired of it.
Leave her alone.
I couldn't tell.
I'm done with Lara Croft.
Before we move on, it's actually super interesting to find out that the regular edition of Shadow of the Tomb Raider is 67% off on Steam right now. So go get it.
Buy it.
Wow.
So, staying with the theme of re-releases, I find this really interesting, and I'm actually writing the review on this game, so I'm interested to hear your guys' feedback. So, Red Dead Redemption 2. So this was after making my transition to PC gaming and moving away from consoles, this was the last console game that really, really, really grabbed me, where I was annoying my roommates with how much I was taking up the TV with. Rockstar Games, there's not much to say. Everybody knows what this game is. It's coming to PC. How do we feel about this kind of re-release? Is this Rockstar Games helping out the PC crowd, or are they just double dipping?
Can I ask a question to Chris really quick? How hard is it to cross-develop from consoles to PC?
It depends on when you started the game. Did you think you were going to do it?
So yes, the answer is yes. They wanted to do it.
Yeah, if you knew from the beginning that this was a thing that you were going to do, it is extra work, but it's not incredibly difficult. If you take a game that was developed from the very beginning, never taking any consideration that you were going to be cross-platform, carrying it over can be a whole lot harder. And this in recent years, because, and I don't know what, do you know, Kate, what was Red Dead Redemption built on? Was that built on?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't actually know. Some of the big packages
built on the broken backs of sad developers.
That too. But I'm not sure if they built their own engine or what engine it was built on. I never bothered to look. But some of the engines are built from the ground up to be cross-platform, and it does make life easier if you're on one of those engines. Some of the, a company like Rockstar Games, I don't actually know what engine they're on, but they may have their own engine which is cross-platform. So depending on what engine you began with, those things would answer your question. So it's not an easy question to answer, but I would imagine the guys at Rockstar assumed
they did
this
something
would go to PC at some point. I would imagine.
Wasn't Grand Theft Auto 5 the same way that they released it on console and then on PC later?
Yes.
About a year later. Yeah.
Because it's a port. It's really not a re-release. It's a port, right?
Yeah. I mean, and to Adam's question, I don't have any problem with that. I mean, there's some people I don't play console games. I play PC games. So
this made me blow the dust out of my Xbox and download onto it again. I was so excited for this game, man, and I really enjoyed it on Xbox. So I can't wait to see it in a buttery frame rate. And
I can't believe we're even considering dissing a developer for releasing on PC and console.
Right. Yeah.
By all means, please do.
I agree with that.
I want it. I won't play it on a console. I want this on PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started playing it on my Xbox, but I'm not around my Xbox enough to get through it. But
I couldn't shoot anybody. I had the hardest time with that fucking joystick, dude. It's been so long since I've had one in my hands.
When I made the move to PC, I could not move back.
Yes,
when it comes to shooters, it was like my dumbass thumbs forgot
they don't operate. They don't work, dude.
Yeah.
I don't understand Halo players. The million years I will never understand people.
I'm a Halo player. I worked on some of the Halo games. I love Halo.
I love Halo too.
I can't shoot with that stupid controller. I cannot do it.
It's super difficult.
I can destroy people. I love it.
That's why you just BXR, dude. You grab that sword and you run around the map.
It's awesome.
I'm going to shoot something. I need my mouse doesn't show up. There it is.
So let's try and talk about the game itself.
Okay.
Who here played it on console? That's two. So I like I said, I haven't had a console in a while. So would you guys be compelled at all to buy it again?
I already bought it. It's already preloaded. I am so hyped. I'm so happy, dude. I enjoyed myself way more than I should have with a console, to be honest. Like I've just been on PC for so long that when I saw this come out, I was really excited. I jumped on my Xbox, hence the blowing off the dust play. Mm-hmm. It was a one-man play. I thought it was good.
I can tell you, I didn't play it because it was on console, and now I'm seriously considering buying it and playing it.
And so there's so many things in the game that I would watch happen before me, be it a big explosion or a couple animals moving down a river or the waterfalls, and my Xbox would start to chug. Dude, it was like limited at that 30, and it would go down to like 15 frames. And I'm like, this is taking away so much of the magic. This is really robbing the value of me riding my fucking horse off the cliff.
So I think the quality of the game isn't.
Oh man!
I mean, isn't really what's going to be difficult for people. Like I'll be reviewing the game. If I were to buy it, that would be like, it's not the quality of the game, it's the quality of the port. It's whether or not that horrible chugging that crashed your Xbox. It like, just because it's on my more powerful PC does not mean that they fixed that chugging. For all we know, it's going to be worse. And for like
only if their port sucks.
Well, I'm looking at it in the realm of when
or if your computer blows. I mean, one of those two conditions might lead to that.
So when Grand Theft Auto 5 came over to PC, initially a little bit rocky, but once they smoothed that out, man, it's amazing. And the mods.
Well, see, that's what I look forward to, even though I'm probably not going to play it on PC because my gaming PC currently is not the greatest, but I love watching mods. I love watching the videos. They're awesome.
So funny. And it's cool to see that kind of work get put in. Like the stupid ones people done in Grand Theft Auto where you play as the Hulk.
Best.
You're playing as the Hulk. Put that on a horse.
I can't wait.
I love it. Give me like a fighter jet in this Western world.
Allie, are you jumping in on the Red Dead train on PC?
I'm on this train.
Okay,
I'm riding this train probably all weekend.
It's a horse.
Put that on a horse.
It's a wagon.
No, everybody that I know who played it on console loved it. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to play it.
Yeah, I mean the elevator pitch, or like the tweet pitch of the game just being GTA in the Wild West. Mm-hmm. Holy shit! That is really tough to say no to. The thing. So I am curious to hear from the guys that have played it. So one thing I noticed, especially with the gunplay and the cover system, is that it felt good in Red Dead Redemption, but it looks the same. What are we like 5 to 8 years later since that first one?
Mm-hmm. So take that from the original Red Dead and then mix it in with what Grand Theft Auto did, where it's kind of a cover system, but you still have that freedom of movement. Split that difference and you have Red Dead 2's combat system.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so while we're talking about, value to the customer and things like that, so Rockstar has more money.
I like that you died a little inside halfway through that sentence. I like that you couldn't even make it to the period at the end of the sentence without a little. There was this little sad noise of your soul escaping from your mouth as you went. I could see your soul come out of your mouth as you did that.
I wafered a little bit I waffled a little bit, on doing this review because I have my issues with Rockstar and Take-Two and the Epic Game Store, which is I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to re-download now.
It's on their launcher.
Yeah. So, Red Dead Redemption, while it was very well received, it didn't seem to do much different from Red Dead the first. Would that be accurate?
Red Dead the first.
They are super different games.
Okay.
I would argue that as well. I mean, Red Dead 1, I mean, it introduced, the theme and all that kind of stuff. But I think Red Dead 2, in my view, it's I don't know how to put it. I mean, I want to use the word mature, but
I'll take that.
I think it matures that theme in gameplay, and I don't mean mature as in like rating. It just
I think mature in most game worlds means it's got naked chicks in it. So we have to be
Yeah.
there.
Of course. And yoga pants too.
Yeah, it's yoga pants
But
and naked chicks. That's what
the
mature
winner
means
there.
in video games now.
So I agree, Kate, because a lot of the mechanics introduced in the original Red Dead, such as that slow down time, mark targets, and bang, you kill them all, that's re-brought in. The idea that it's kind of this open world Western, you're part of an outlaw gang, that's all existent. But the way Red Dead 2 takes it is just, it's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
I loved every bit of it.
Well, right on. I am definitely looking forward to it. Allie, if you're Allie and Brick, or anybody else, I think we're gonna have a little OP. Do they have gangs? What's the deal?
It's the equivalent of what, yeah. So like what you would have in the GTA universe of a company or whatever it was, or motorcycle gang. That same thing is relevant.
Right on.
But if you're offering for me to join your gang, thank you.
Sign me up. I'm in.
All right, you can pick up. You can pick up Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Epic Games Store. Sad face. This Tuesday. So
I
tomorrow.
think it's on their
Stop bragging
personal
on the
launcher.
Epic Game Store.
It's on their
Stop me,
personal
Chris.
launcher too.
No,
That's where I have it preloaded.
I'll take you on this. I am all about there being more game stores. Quit ragging on the Epic Game Store.
It's not
It
about
is
there being
good
more
for
game
developers
stores. It's
to
that
have
it's
more
this
game
game
stores.
store. Chris, we'll talk about this some other time.
Go ahead and talk about it. I'll eat my leftover Smarties.
All right.
I'm just saying, look, when there is only one goddamn store, it is very difficult for developers to negotiate with anybody. When you have multiple stores, it's better.
I
And
agree.
therefore, the Epic Game Store is immune to criticism. Got it, Chris.
I'm not saying the Epic Game Store is that great. I'm saying there ought to be like 4 or 5 valid marketplaces for you to
Can
go
they just
sell
make it
games
easier
on
to
PC.
navigate?
Just
Why is
like
it all
there's-
just big pictures, man?
Just
hate
like there
this.
should be more than 2 political parties. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
I actually thought halfway through that sentence you were going to say more than 2 places to sell games on mobile.
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going with that
There's
sentence.
that too.
Which is
That too.
also a true statement.
Yeah.
That fits right in with my political party statement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
All right. So we actually have an indie title looking very interesting. So we can stop talking about re-releases.
Yeah.
So
thank God.
A Year of Rain, an early access RTS game with a few little clever twists that I think might set it apart. So, a desolate realm kept in flux by the rhythm of battle, a proving ground for those with great ambition. There's not a lot going on here. A Year of Rain is the ultimate team real-time strategy game. Choose your faction, team up, and take control of a legendary hero to lead your armies. So, an RTS game, which seemed to be getting maybe not more rare, but a little more niche. They seem to be more hardcore gamer oriented now. But this particularly seems to bring in a little bit of the hero progression that people like from games like Dota and League of Legends. Right. And there is this built-in cooperative mechanic. 2v2 as well as cooperative mechanic that you don't. I don't think I'm familiar with many RTS games that really do that. So. Guys, is A Year of Rain doing enough ambitious, fun things to get you to play an RTS again?
This looks like StarCraft fucked a MOBA. That's what this looks like to me. It has the same, when they do the little trailer and they're introducing
You
it.
say that like it's a bad thing.
No, and that's what I was about to follow on with. Is it doesn't look bad, but I'm an RTS fan, man. I play a lot of them.
Yeah.
I really enjoy strategy
So
games.
I'm not, and I know that they've kind of fallen from favor.
Right.
StarCraft 2 wasn't exactly the massive success.
Yeah, that wasn't what everybody wanted it to be.
Well, yeah, I mean, as someone who's worked on all the Age of Empires games and currently working on Age 4, I mean, I like
childhood.
Exactly. Yes.
You ate it. Get it back.
I love RTS games. I actually love working on them more than actually playing them, but that's a different issue. But yeah, I mean, I thought this looked kind of cool, but it looked very derivative. I'm just like, okay, what would compel me to play this versus any number of other RTS games? I thought more than anything, it was the cooperative stuff that was a little bit intriguing.
I don't understand though, because when they talk about it in their main trailer about the co-op, it's a 2v2 thing or with AI, so it's a skirmish. in every other RTS ever.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like something that
what's different?
Custom game.
The only thing that's different that I thought was kind of an interesting concept is that you pick your faction, and then you also pick like your class, like tank, support, or healer. That's kind of cool because then if you have a guy that's super turtly, like your friend always builds himself into a corner and he's always just that. Like that's what he does. You can be like, dude, why don't you play the tank and I'll play attack, and then we can kind of play off of each other a little bit more. You got a really aggressive friend, you can try to heal them through. The thing that scares me here is if it's going to be a lane-based RTS. So one of my favorite RTSs ever was Dawn of War. All the Dawn of Wars were phenomenal until the last one because they tried to make it this MOBA battle arena fucking thing, man, where they made it all these straight lanes. Like you can't get away from just throwing infantry at other infantry. That's it. That's all you can do. There's no strategy. It's mobs and better tanks. Mobs, better tanks. And, it scares me, man.
So, Allie, you seem to have a pretty positive reaction to this. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brick. I grew up playing the Age of Empires games. Loved the shit out of those.
Made me fat. Yeah, made me a fat kid. Those games alone.
It looks interesting. I would play this. Same kind of sentiments as Brick with the lanes. I can't stand games like that.
If this opens that door, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's...
Is no one here going to mention the fact that Brick just called Allie fat? No one here is going to jump on that?
No.
We're just going to breeze past that.
I didn't say that. I said
that.
It made me a fat kid.
Yeah.
Allie is a fat kid.
I can't believe nobody said anything about that.
You misheard it, Chris. That's why, Chris.
You think I would have said something if it was said that way.
No, I became a fat child because of Age of Empires 2 in particular.
You're welcome.
I became a fat child while playing Age of Empires 2, but it really didn't have much to do with Age of Empires. It was just, 150 other bad habits.
I had a good metabolism for that, but now is a different story.
So, Chris, so I haven't heard your take. A Year of Rain, a semi-new twist on an RTS. What do you think?
I'm kind of with Kate. It looks kind of cool. It looks like an RTS, but again, I'm not sure I see anything that I'm like, yeah, I gotta go grab this. And it's not really a slam on the developers. It's very difficult to do that right now. I mean, what hasn't been done in RTS? It's very, I mean, if somebody gave me a couple $1 million and said, make an original RTS, I would struggle to write that design doc. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, going to what Brick was saying about, everything's turning into a MOBA. Well, they are all turning into MOBAs because that's what makes money right now, because that's what esports wants. And that's what's happened to RTSs, right? They're all basically fodder for a great big esports machine. And if you can't put it on stage and have a game resolve itself in a reasonable amount of time and look interesting while it does it, then you can't really make an RTS anymore because that's the only place they make money. So it's a challenging environment to make a game in.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure that if I were starting a game today, I would start an RTS just because I don't feel I'm up to the challenge of overcoming those kind of odds. And I'm not sure looking at, and again, I haven't played the game. This is purely based off the trailers. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in those trailers that tells me that they've overcome those difficulties, which are very formidable difficulties. Mm-hmm. Does that sound fair? I think
that sounded fair. I think you sounded, that's good.
Since when do you check?
I don't know. It's having Kate around. It's really throwing me off my game. He's legit as shit, and I don't.
Yeah, you can talk all this shit.
Did you just call Kate shit?
Hoisted by my own petard.
I'll hold this up instead. Pretend I'm not here.
Oh my God.
I want that everywhere in my house. I want
that Pazuzu?
No, that's the Chachapoyan idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, it is.
Kamamatusu Homata. I mean, come on.
That's fucking rad.
Kate, you might be the coolest person to walk this earth.
She actually knew the name of the tribe
the problem,
at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
The best part,
with no prompting.
It was in arm's reach the whole time.
Right there,
she didn't even struggle. There wasn't even like a little second where she was like, what was the name of that tribe? No, just boom, right out.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's hilarious. That's just...
I think you gotta wear the hat for the rest of the show.
A holy grail on my desk? Yeah.
Oh my God, be careful.
You gotta keep that on for the rest of the show now. You've earned that hat, Kate.
Yeah, no joke. on a side note with this Year of Rain game, I like their characters. Their three factions are cool as shit, dude. They're really cool move.
Does anyone else think the design? So the way the game just kind of looks, and I don't have it. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but I wonder if this was either initially. I wonder if it was considered for mobile development. Some of this looks really like a little bare bones.
That crossed my mind as well.
Yeah,
I wondered about that.
Yeah.
It looks real like
I didn't even think about that.
Simple in not necessarily a bad way, but the kind of way where you could probably operate an RTS like this on a touch screen.
It would look good on an iPad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't think I mean that as an insult, but it might be. So
you
might be onto something.
I think that's a modern design aesthetic now. Actually, I think that's just the way some games. Yeah, minimalism is probably the wrong word, but that. I don't have a better word though.
It's like
I trash you for your word. I don't have a better word.
Like everything, just kind of like you're talking about with like gameplay mechanics. They all kind of homogenize and sneak toward each other. All of a sudden, oh Jesus! Now Dawn of War has 3 lanes. What the hell?
It hurt me.
Now, I mean, there's a ton of games that just kind of have a very basic cartoony color palette because the kids are familiar with it, whoever the hell they are.
They want their characters to stand out too. They use real basic palettes in the background, and then their bright colors in the
characters. This is Wolfman.
They pop.
Wolfman, like,
which I mean, so you guys are the designers. Is that is that on purpose? Are we simplifying our art direction to make our individual heroes pop out like that?
Well, I mean, that's something that they do. And I mean, especially for other cultures as well. I mean, in some parts of the world, that's a preference. It's just like you look at some of the RPGs and stuff in Japan where they do like the characters to pop out more. So I think that may have been a consideration as well, although I'm not sure how conscious it was.
Why have I heard of Daedalic Entertainment?
They have a ton of shit on Steam.
Yeah, was it Deponia and the Ravensburger puzzles? I think that was them.
We talked about Felix the Reaper, I think, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a developer, and I think they actually do publishing now. So I'm not, I think this is both developed and published by them, according to their, according to what I'm looking at. It's both published and developed by them, and they've done some good stuff in their studio. I mean, this isn't like my first game for anybody. This is a solid game by a solid developer. So I mean, one of the things when you say, it's not a big, huge AAA studio, there's always that question of like, is it going to be crappy just because they don't know how to make games? I don't think that's an issue here. I think whatever we're looking at is probably going to be a pretty good version of that. Mm-hmm. But I just worry that it's another one of these.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
You can pick up A Year of Rain on Wednesday. Definitely seems like something worth checking out if you're looking for a new RTS fix. So releasing this Thursday, Chris, I specifically want to hear your take on this. We'll get to it. So Superverse is an early access game hitting this Thursday from Superverse Industries. And published by Superverse Industries. So I get the impression this might be probably their first title as a group.
Self-titled album.
Yeah, right, exactly. So Superverse is a fast-paced, action-packed space shooter game. This electrifying arcade transports the player to an ancient network of interconnected universes to find a way to return to the past to prevent the extinction of humanity. So Superverse here's why I thought of you, Chris. So you have railed against pixel art and pixel graphics being used in your game, because it's, we did this already. That was we struggled through pixel art in the 80s. I hope we
tolerated it because we had to.
Yes, it was a necessity. So here, when I look at Superverse, I see one of the oldest game concepts that I can think of, which is asteroids.
Yeah.
But it looks sexy. Like, it looks really good. The colors are flashy. It's got these beautiful neon effects.
I'm happy you're turned on, Adam. And I'm happy that when you got turned on, you thought of me. This all is going perfectly well. You're looking at the game, you got all excited, and the first thing you did, you thought of me, and you're going in the right direction. No, you're right. Actually, I looked at this and I like it. I like it a lot. Right.
Yeah.
I'll start with a couple things.
A somewhat challenge to you before you get in.
Go.
So why do you think it's more acceptable from a development standpoint to take an old gameplay mechanical concept and make it look new, but you feel it's taking a step backwards when you do the same thing with your aesthetics?
There was nothing wrong with asteroids, right? I mean, let's be honest. We did pixel art because we had to do pixel art. And if you made my first game came out in like 1991, and it was grainy and pixely as shit.
It was terrible. I hated that game, Twitch. It was really bad.
It was actually a terrible game. And we looked at it and we were like, God, I wish our game didn't look like this. It didn't look like that because we wanted it to look like that. It looked like that because that's as good as it got then, right? Yeah. That's why I bitch about pixel art. Now, Asteroids was a fun game. There was nothing wrong with the gameplay of Asteroids. That was a good game design. I think calling this just Asteroids is maybe not giving it enough. Right?
Sure.
There's a lot going on.
I think that's fair.
Beyond
Asteroids. I think one thing that we need to keep in mind, at least from my perspective, that pixel art is a style. Yes, it came out of a certain era, but so did black and white films, which are still being made in Hollywood for aesthetic purposes. So, I think there's a good reason, like if you're proficient at pixel art, or you feel that your specific experience and narrative that you want to push forward would be better expressed in pixel art. I don't have a problem with that. I don't even care if people go back to nice vector graphics like asteroids and all that cool stuff. So to me, it's always a style choice that we have at our disposal.
Just a style choice that I personally hate, right?
Yeah,
I'm not saying people shouldn't make it. I'm just saying I hate them, right? I mean,
that's fair.
I'm not saying you shouldn't make slasher horror films, but I don't go watch slasher horror films. I'm not into them. I don't like pixel art. For me personally, I'm certainly not saying people shouldn't make them. I don't like it, right?
Yeah, and I hate Avatar, so it works.
Yeah. Which I liked. I thought it was a pretty movie. There was a scene in there where there was a space marine inside of a robot killing an alien that was the Avatar. I thought that was a cool scene.
Yeah, because we'd never seen that before. I know. It's awesome.
Wasn't that movie just Pocahontas with blue people?
Yes, it was. It was actually Fern Gully.
I'm not going to get into that. I want to talk about these people's game.
Yes.
The point about what I'm trying to say here is this looks really pretty. It looks really fun. It's not the same. It's not one of the 5 game designs that everybody fucking makes these days. It's it's something it's not brand new, but it's a piece of gaming lore or it's something from the design Bible that hasn't gotten a lot of play lately. It looks like it's very polished. It looks like it's very fun. Yeah. Actually, over the whole list of games today, this is probably the one I'm most likely to go grab and check out. And aside from all that other stuff, this also doesn't look like I need to turn this into a part-time job like I would with Red Dead Redemption, right? This is a game I could actually play for a reasonable amount of time as a working adult with children.
Yep.
So this looks good. I'm into this.
Allie, is this arcade shooter appealing to you at all? Go ahead.
I could see myself getting sucked into it. It's pretty. It's colorful.
So pretty.
I like the asteroid style gameplay of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd play it. I'm with Chris.
Yeah, I find it interesting that there is they're kind of flaunting some awards up here saying like
yeah.
what's the is it Ikaruga or something like that. It's like a Japanese title. I almost got it on the Switch where you have to flip your ship around to match the color of the projectiles coming at you. That was the last one of these games that really, really hooked me. And if they can really nail some of the cooperative elements to go along with this really fun, flashy arcade aesthetic, this could be some addicting, not just for people with kids and jobs. I work part-time.
Brag about it.
Damn, Adam. Okay, we get it. You have free time.
Yeah, I mean it's not
Rub
great.
it in.
Things are tight. Anyway.
I don't know. I think that this looks pretty cool, and it looks like it's like up to 4 players of co-op. Because I keep on seeing like P3 and P4, but I have not yet seen player 2. So he obviously sucks at this game. Oh, there he was. Okay.
Everybody has a friend, okay?
Weirdly enough, I think I would rather watch this game than play this game.
There's a market for those.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's called Twitch. We're on it right now.
Right here, right now.
Yeah, I think I would rather watch it because a lot of these arcade top-down shooters, I lose myself, dude. Like I can't find my character. I get so sucked into like the surrounding things that I'm just watching the bullet trails, and that's it.
It does seem like a big mess of explosions and colors.
I'd rather just watch someone play it and be like, wow.
You don't want to be part of the mess of explosions and color.
I suck
that's
at
the
these
best
so bad.
part. That you're like,
I'll take it as
I'm making this happen. Like
I think this might be like my 3rd or 4th time on this show, Chris, with you. You should know by now. My genre of gaming is narrow, man. I'm not a smart man.
True. He needs to play something with a Winchester and a stick. Yeah.
Does it appeal to your feminine side, Brick?
No, this isn't calling my caveman brain. The colors are. my caveman brain is like, wow.
Caveman brain.
And also, but the problem also is he knows who he is too. Like he knows he can't find his fucking ship in this ship. Be crashing into a wall. They'd be like, God dang, dude, I'm doing good.
But Brick, you're gonna be so stoned, it's okay. That's the whole point of these games.
Exactly.
He's a cop.
In a state where
I
it's
know.
not
I
legal.
like to rub it in that he can't get stoned and I can. That's the best part of this broadcast.
Have fun.
They've made drugs legal and you're a cop. Take that. It's like getting polio after they found the vaccine. It's like,
it's a real shame. You're just the one guy.
Checking in from Denver over here. So you can pick up Superverse this Thursday. A game I'm definitely gonna have my eye on. It is gonna be an early access title, so there is definitely gonna be some development after it launches this week. But we are gonna move on to actually our first of a trio of VR games, and they all kind of have. It's interesting because we've criticized VR games for a lot of the same things in this show.
Wait, what is VR?
What's that?
It's a type of stuff.
I like that. Like for 3 seconds, Adam was like, "Whoa, this is really weird. This can't be happening." Kate Edwards doesn't know what VR is. You could see in his eyes like he totally didn't know how to deal with this situation. Like, how the hell am I supposed to explain this to her?
It's like gaming.
God, you should have seen yourself, Adam.
It's okay. I did my master's thesis on VR in 1991, so I know what it is.
Oh my God!
Are these the same VRs?
The look in his eyes was just that was epic.
Is this the same acronym for what we're talking about? Because that's
we are talking about
to Kate Edwards what VR is without mansplaining it. You can see it in his eyes. It was awesome, man. It was fucking awesome. I want to live that moment again.
Okay, sorry.
It is being recorded, so go ahead. You can count all
that
the blood
shit.
cells turning red in my face.
The first time.
Somebody clip it.
All right, so we got 3 VR games now. First one is probably the most relaxing of the bunch. Abode 2. So Abode 2.
Can I ask a question right off the bat?
Yep.
Why do we have 3 VR games?
Thanks, Adam.
Like there's like 100 and something games released this week, and we picked 3 VR games out of like 7 games. Do we really believe
140 of them are anime porn conversations?
Thank you.
You don't understand.
Thank you.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that. But like, do we really believe that VR represents 3/7 of the valid output of game development right now? Do we really believe it's that important?
It's not the porn.
Consider it. We're just kind of revisiting VR to see what's going on. Is it still alive this week?
But we do this every week. There's like always a couple VR games every week, and every week I'm like, really? I'm like, I mean, is it that important to us? I mean, generally, I mean, what's the thought behind that, Adam?
So I think, so when we're looking, I'm justifying my fucking list. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, while he's talking, I'm going to put up the paid advertising. There.
So it all comes clear to me now.
Go ahead.
We talk all the time about things that we see entirely too often. You know, there's a reason why I don't include a bunch of the battle royale titles that pop up.
God, they're making those still.
If we were talking 2 years ago,
So
it would have been the same thing with like MOBAs. You know, there's just like a glut. And so when I'm flipping through trailers, I'm digging through this big long list. I'm looking for things that I haven't necessarily seen a whole lot of, and so I guess VR just checks that box, and it's not anime porn. So,
all right, fair enough.
He spends way too long on those Steam pages, so he more or less just draws these names out of.
So what I want to know is, you say that we have never reviewed a single anime porn game.
Yeah, and the Twitch chat happening. The Twitch chat has really 2 statements right now.
This output. Where is our anime porn game?
I don't know if you guys see that.
At least one, right?
So they would rather see the anime porn games reviewed and talked about here, and they also want to know what's going on with Chris. He looks trapped between objects.
So I'm putting one on next week's list.
Do it.
So Chris,
I'm just saying,
you better be here.
Like 30 or 40% of them are all anime porn games. There
because
must be one good
I will
one,
spend
right?
that 10 minutes personally attacking the people who pay money for those.
Just keep in mind that as that anime porn, that hentai is playing, your face is going to be right next to that trailer on a loop.
Dude, my face is already next to an enlarged baboon ass. Do you think I care?
I don't know if that's a baboon. It's got a real not baboony face.
I'm not sure if it's a baboon or whatever, but you can see what I'm not real picky about what I put my face next to, right? I've been in front of this baboon ass for like an hour now.
I like him.
I believe they call that a gibbon.
Is that a gibbon? We were trying to figure out what that was. But,
is that the type?
Whatever it is, it's got back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's got something.
It's got some thighs, dude. Thighs.
2 C's.
I love it.
So anyway,
I think we're gonna try to talk about Abode 2.
Until we're all fascinated with this game. Yeah.
So developed and published by Overflow. You could say that again. So Abode 2 is essentially an escape room game. And to me, I think so. As someone that has really enjoyed my time with actual escape rooms, the 3 times I think that I've been out with friends in an escape room, I think this makes a shitload of sense because you don't have to schedule anything with your whole group of friends to get them all out. Like this makes a lot of sense. Of course, it's going to be room scale, and the game mechanics are going to work. Theoretically, should work very well within that space to just find clues, unlock little doors, things like that. Just using powers of observation, which I think VR developers are banking on that being really compelling. So, Abode 2. An escape room VR game. Is this doing anything different for our VR enthusiasts out there?
I like that you get to go into VR inside VR. Yeah,
that was very Inception.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
But new.
Dude, there's 7 bajillion of these games on Steam of the escape room. So I'm curious to see what makes this one different. It says a highly interactable apartment. what escape room doesn't have this air quotes highly interactive room? It's a fucking escape room. Like, it's meant to be interactive and touch things and be like, do this, go dear? Like, you know, like, I don't know.
Oh, no,
I'm not good at them. No, this don't do.
And you're the guy that has to solve murders. God damn it.
Great.
I promise I'm not an idiot. No, I've enjoyed my time with escape rooms in VR. But Chris and I also were talking about this a little bit. I can't play for extended amounts of time. I can't. And I don't know if this has some sort of proceduralness to it or more apartments to play in. Because if it's a one and done, it better be one damn hard apartment, right? Like, this better be a journey, dude. Like, there are checkpoints in this VR world.
I mean, I think that might be the case. I mean, it looks a little bit like the room that Queen Amidala was sleeping in when she was when they tried to assassinate her with the worms. Did anybody else see that?
Yes.
No, never seen
Episode 2.
Never seen.
Yeah,
never seen that story.
That was total ass. I guess part of the reason why I thought Abode stood out a little bit from a lot of these kind of puzzle solvey VR games was that there really does seem to be some effort put into the writing, the creative elements of the personality of the game, which I think is something that a lot of VR games are probably kind of backing off. Like
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So I think there's something more to the immersion beyond the fact that you get to see things in VR.
Right.
I think that's one of the problems is I think we're still in a weird place with VR where there's still enough people that haven't done VR or haven't done much VR that we think just the virtue of being VR is cool. And we're like, oh, look, you're in a room and you can touch things and you can move things. Isn't that great? And I think we're just now hitting the point where enough people have played VR that are like, yeah, I've done that. What are you bringing to the party?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I very much agree with that. I think we're at a point where any consumer who's in that VR market, I mean, they're looking for just a little bit more. I mean, compel me. Right. It's like you get something like Beat Saber that's been ridiculously popular and successful, and it is repetitive, but it's also ridiculously fun.
Yes.
Because it is a music game and you're dancing around.
It's Guitar Hero with lightsabers. Yeah, it's
like,
everything you've ever wanted. Like
exactly. So
and at the time it came out, there weren't 15 just like it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, this was like, it looks good, it's interesting, but it's like I'm actually not a huge fan of escape rooms. I really don't care, so I probably wouldn't play this game.
How are you not a fan of escape rooms?
They're just not interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm just Chris, like, what do I
would think that would totally scratch your Indiana Jones Temple Raider.
Yeah, but it's all puzzles. The puzzle stuff's fine, but it's like, when does the shooting and blood come?
For people!
I can't argue with that. I believe that was the mic drop of the conversation.
Where's the spikes coming out of the wall? Where's the arrow shooting at me? All that.
All right, I can't argue
the danger.
I play so much.
Oh God!
Full contact escape rooms.
Exactly. That's what I want.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh man.
See, I play so much of the like blood and guts when I want to break. Something like this would be kind of cool, and maybe I'm a victim to it because I've never played a VR escape room before, or even been to one in real life. Maybe that's why I'm interested in it, but I'd play this.
I thought
I would definitely recommend escape rooms. Twitch, maybe not Abode 2, but definitely escape rooms.
No, I thought this looked stylish. I thought the music was nice. The styling was good. Mm-hmm. The little hat.
I like your little ghost guy. Yeah, he was kind of neat. Kind of cute. Yeah,
and he's got some. As these kind of things go, it seems kind of cool. I just it's another VR escape room.
Another one of these.
Are we going to review?
Yeah.
When is this over?
When the porn comes.
Please.
Bring the yoga pants come off.
Good news.
When shit gets weird.
Good news, Chris. We're talking about another VR game.
I know, joy.
You can pick up Abode 2 on Thursday if you have a VR setup. So this next one is called Britannia VR, Out of Your Mind. So I picked this one because it seems to be doing a lot of the same mechanical things that Abode 2 was, but it takes super dark, super gritty and nasty kind of storytelling approach to it that I think might appeal to the people that are maybe put off by the levity of something like Abode 2. So an experience based on Sky Atlantic's second series of Britannia. You'll become part of a lost Celtic tribe held up on a beach 2 years after the Roman invasion. You can choose to be immersed in a world of druid magic and mysticism, or enter an intoxicating world of Roman imperialism and power. So aesthetically, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's really good in some spots.
I'd like to point out one of the best things about VR is we can now use all those old names again. You couldn't make a game and call it Britannia. Like that's been used for years.
Yeah.
But now we can stick VR on the end of anything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
All of these. I don't know if you guys know how hard it is to name a goddamn game in 2019. You have 100 cool ideas for a game name, and every one of them, you do a Google search. Nope, that's taken. Nope, that's taken. You can't make anything that doesn't
just spell it wrong.
But now we can put a
Z
VR on
there.
the end.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, it's all new again. It's like when they put the .biz out and you didn't have to be a .com anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like that. Oh, it's so nice.
So with this game though, this checks, like if I had a list of what game I want to buy, this checks all of them except for a big old bugaboo check mark. Do I get to stab things? And this doesn't look like it has this. So what this looks like to me is a VR experience, right? Yes. So you're gonna pay money for it, and you're gonna be at the main menu, and you get to pick up Druid or you get to pick up Roman, and then it's just like a cutscene that you're a fucking part of. And then you get to beat on a drum every now and then, and you just go through this cutscene.
It's an adventure.
It's an experience. It's an experience. And those, they have their place, and they're fun to be like, hey, bro, you never tried VR before? You want to see a Roman on an elephant, dude? And then you give him the helmet. Like, that's cool. But it's not fun to just own and play.
Yeah,
so,
it looks...
I don't know, man.
I can definitively say the first thing I thought about when I thought about VR was not, I want to see a Roman on an elephant.
Right.
That was not my first thought.
I'll show you it.
We somewhere on that list.
Now you're on the elephant.
But that's
VR.
But high on my list for VR has always been using VR as a device to basically do time travel, which this kind of is.
Right.
You're now standing in, the old time, 2,000 years ago Britannia. And I for that angle, I think it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would love to see Assassin's Creed in VR, for example.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
So
you got to keep the stabbing.
Yeah.
Keep the stabbing.
No, exactly. No, I'm all for that. I have no problem with that. I don't know. I didn't get a good sense of what the gameplay actually is, other than looking at cool shit in VR.
Yes.
So I am, but I am intrigued.
Somewhere near the end of the video, there's a weird bit where he holds out his hands, and there's like an elephant in either one of his hands. And I watched that about 10 times trying to figure out what is the elephant hand gameplay like. That's weird.
Yes.
I couldn't figure that out.
Says the guy with the baboon asses behind his head.
Yeah,
I know, right? I got a lot of questions, is what I'm saying.
I will probably, just because, like I said, this checks all my boxes. Like, I love history. I love this era in particular. I love these stories of this time. The Romans were pretty fucking badass. Like, they're fun to read about. So this is there for me. But it's lacking that whole scene where you see the character's floating wrist arms come up, man, out of the fucking nowhere, and he's got a sword in one of them, and here comes the elephant people.
Wait, right? Kate, you'll know this. There's a game, I can't remember the name of it. I was playing a bunch of it when we were doing some research in VR. Started with a G, and it was like
Gorn.
Yeah,
great, that's fantastic. Play it all the time.
That's what I missed. Now I get to kill shit. Bit.
Just
where's that bit?
You can do terrible things in that game, by the way.
I know, right?
You can rip people's arms off and kill other people with that guy's arm. Like, that's...
I know, right?
It's a different world, bro.
Actually, watching this almost makes me want to just have a VR version of Mordhau.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That'd be so sick.
That'd be awesome.
I'd be so much better at that game.
Hey. Me too. Exactly.
Jesus, you're saying everything right. Goodness.
So the thing about Britannia VR though is that it really isn't any of those things. It kind of looks like those things. Like you could take this overall aesthetic and make a Mordhau VR game out of it, but it really wants So it calls itself an experience, which is like, as you've alluded to, Brick, like that basically just says, so you're not going to be doing much.
Yeah.
You're
gonna be standing
watching
in the middle of your room, watching some shit unfold, which isn't always a bad thing. Like I said, like you can, a lot of the things I've had, like when friends come over, when they used to exist, when they come over and like I had my VR, I'd be like, hey dude, you want to see a T-Rex? You're like, you want to see one? I have one.
You can,
and like you put on their little.
Well, now you know. Now we know why they don't exist anymore. Because you put a VR headset on them and then stuffed them in your closet, you weirdo.
That's kind of. To be fair, it's a room. Okay, it's not a closet.
It's
but
a
I do
small
lock
room.
the doors. I do lock the doors. No, and you know that's one of the main. I don't want to say gimmicks, but the main experiences that you have with VR is being able to be like, "Hey, friend of mine," or "Hey, me, are you afraid of zombies? Well, here's fucking zombies, and then you like have to experience it. You know, you don't like heights. Here's a game about climbing cliffs.
That sounds terrible. No.
Right? It gives you that ability to have these experiences. So if that's your shtick with VR.
Yeah, I think there might be a reason why you don't have any friends. Is the one thing you wanted to make them do is shit they don't like.
Yes.
You're like, hey, friend. Here, you don't like this? Put this in your face, and you can do more of it.
Test.
This might be why you don't have a lot of people coming around.
Slam a VR headset on their head, and now you're at a roller coaster. Take that!
I'm covered in spiders.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is why people don't come hang out with you anymore.
I'm a motivator. I'm a driver. I push people to their limits so that they can know what their limits are, Chris.
That's what makes him a terrible cop.
I'm here to make. Yeah, exactly.
I do not want to get pulled over by this guy. I'll see where his limits are.
He pushes buttons until he does something.
So I'm kind of curious. These experience-based games that are kind of light on game, heavy on experience. I'd be willing to bet that there's an opportunity to essentially make a VR movie that isn't just purely the shtick of VR. Like, did anyone see, what was it, Hardcore Henry?
I've seen every trailer for that years ago. I wouldn't pay for it.
I saw it.
Really, really good 2.5-minute YouTube video.
Yeah.
A feature-length film. It was not.
No.
So I'm catching some really compelling moments in the trailer where it's like, oh man, that would be crazy to be in the crowd for a witch burning or something.
Yeah.
You know, really crazy and period specific like that. But then I'm wondering, like, is the thought gonna end up being way better than the almost cinematic experience of it?
Yes.
I think the thing you have to be really cognizant of is we're still in the Pong days of VR.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, if you go back in video games to, you know, that old pixel art shit that I hate, right? We had to be like that. And VR right now still kind of has to be like this. There are technical challenges that we're overcoming. You know, one of the biggest issues with VR is this, I don't know what's going on with
what is that?
Somebody's mic is
weird
going
noise.
It's not mine, man.
Got a hot
Not
mic.
me, man.
I can hear it.
I don't hear it.
I don't know, somebody's mic is weird. But no, the point is, like, if you think about being in VR and this having this sort of thing around your, you know, you have no peripheral vision. I'm looking through this tunnel. I've got this heavy equipment on.
Mm-hmm.
All of these negative experiences are still there. Those are going to get less and less and less as we go on. Right. So at some level, I kind of want to cut these VR guys slack because they're the ones. If they don't do this now, we're not going to get to the stuff that comes later, right? This is a growing stage that we have to go through, and we kind of have to suffer through this until we figure out how the mechanics work and how the technology works and all that other stuff.
Then we can stab everything.
And when they do the things we can stab.
Well, look at
We're going to get that anime porn in the VR, and those two things are going to come together.
But then, you know, I'm not leaving. I'm staying there. No, and you can see what they did with like Fallout VR and Skyrim VR and Doom VR, where they take these big titles and then they say, be in there. Now, the problem with Skyrim VR, dude, is you could wiggle your sword and fucking just kill the shit out of people.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do anything. Just freaking And it would just be doing the damage of the sword, man. Every time I would lick them. And so you walk into caves, dude, licking your way down hallways.
I feel
Why
very
you gotta gross
uncomfortable
me
right
out
now.
at the end of the show like this? I don't. All right, so.
Weird.
God, I love Brick. Okay, so we have one more game to get to. Just want to remind our viewers on Twitch that we do have a raffle going. If you go to opnoobs.com/raffle, you can sign up and possibly get a copy of Call of Duty World War II. Nice. So the last game that we're going to talk about is a VR game called Fail Space. And the reason why this one ended up on the list is I have a game on my phone called Space Team. Is anyone here familiar with Space Team?
No.
Wait. Is that the one where you have like 4 different people and you have to yell at each other?
Yes.
Yes, I played that. That thing's awesome. That thing is
fantastic.
Okay,
awesome. So
it's
quick
absolutely
summary
awesome.
of Space Team is you can play it on a phone or a tablet, and basically you play as a team on a spaceship that is trying to escape an asteroid explosion. So it's like one of those big cosmic explosions that you see in sci-fi movies. So and the whole time you have to be giving orders turn on the engine, turn off the blah blah blah. You're constantly barking orders at each other that you're being prompted to on your device, while everybody else is also being prompted to also manage their little piece of the spaceship.
Yeah, but the important bit is
console.
everyone has different stuff on their screen.
Yes,
right.
Got
So
it.
I'm being told you have to turn on the
switches.
deconfibulator, but I don't have a deconfibulator. He has the deconfibulator, and so I have to tell him to turn on the deconfibulator. That's the key element of the
Got
design.
it. So it's forced co-op.
free. It's a really, really good way to
super
kill
fun.
an hour at a party or something like that. Everybody's
party?
yelling at each other. It's just wild and crazy. It's really, really fun. Space Team, get it on your device.
So are you?
That sounds fun.
This is relative to that, but
Yes.
in VR, and also can play on your phone.
I think so.
The pizza guy in this trailer shows up on his phone. Playing
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So Failspace is a co-op crisis-solving multiplayer VR game where you have to nurture your fragile spaceship through the ever-changing dangers of space. Up to 4 people can join the mission, where their skills, resilience, and friendship will be tested all across the galaxy. So it takes that inherent chaos of I have to listen and communicate outward all at the same time, and I have to physically maneuver these things that I have in front of me, and it puts it into VR. Yeah. And shit, that sounds fun to me. There's a lot of Britannia. I was like, oh yeah, if I had the setup, that would maybe be cool. There's been a bunch of VR games like this. When I look at Failspace, I'm like, this is perfect. Right. This is exactly what VR needs to do.
Short instances of gameplay.
Right.
And you can take off the headset because you're like, wow, I just finished that round in 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever the case might be of short time. And then take a break and throw it back on, get in with your friends again. Yes.
This is really fun. I've actually played this game because I do in all my travels to speaking at different events, I'm also often a judge for a lot of indie contests and all that kind of stuff. And I did play an earlier version of this game because watching the trailer, I was like, wow, there's a lot of cool stuff they've upgraded on from when I played the early version. But this is a lot of fun. I mean, it's exactly what you described. It's something where you're kind of manically running around trying to check all the systems while things are falling apart. And it's intense, but it's brief. And so to me, it had the feeling like if you're on the Star Tours ride at Disneyland or something like that, where it's kind of this manic craziness going on for 5 to 10 minutes and then you're done. And and it's kind of a nice, healthy VR session. And then you kind of take the headset off and you're like, okay, that was cool.
So one thing I since you've played it, I wanted to ask that little robot float around at the beginning. I think she says hey, it's a new player. And it's got the hat on that says Trevor. And then the pizza dude has the hat that says Trevor. Yes. Are phone players the floating robots and then VR players are the humans?
See, that part of it I did not test. So I think that came later after the version that I played.
That makes sense that the phone players would be these little robot android folk because they're just moving with a joystick or virtual joystick. Right. Which I think is such a cool concept. But I had to watch this trailer twice because the first time through, I thought it was being pitched to children. Like the way it's voice acted in the trailer, I was like, ugh. When I watched it again, I was like, oh.
So that actually kind of reminds me. Part of what played into my decision to put it on the list was that last week we talked about a game called Reiko's Fragments, which was like a 1v4, that asymmetric game type where it was like, I think
haunt your friends, right? Like
right. The four people play as like ghosts or demons, whatever they are. Then they're
guy.
Yeah, right. And there's one dude in the set. So like I'm intrigued by just the concept of, because for all of our criticisms of VR, one consistent one is that they just need to reach more people. They just need to get people experiencing VR, and they need to find a way to get them $700 more.
Plus, you can make your friends jealous because you can flip off your friend on the phone. You can be like, "Fuck you, dude," and he's like, "Oh man,
let me say though."
So he goes out and buys a Rift.
I don't think appealing to more people means having a really generic, almost childlike atmosphere.
You would.
I actually had to struggle my way through this video. I actually think the game, it's my job to look at the gameplay and respond to the gameplay. That's what we're asked to do here.
Right.
And I agree with everything everyone said about the gameplay. It looks interesting. It looks fun. But I would never in a million years play this game because it feels like I'm in an episode of Dora the Explorer and I can't take it.
And that's what I was saying too, that it felt like it was being pitched to children when I first watched it.
I mean, it's like even the first like 15 seconds of the video, it's like cute girl puts on VR goggles in case you didn't know that this is VR, and then in this almost condescending voice, I'll call you Trevor. And I'm just like, I hate you and I hate your world. I'm just filled with a boiling hatred of everything I'm seeing. And I'm trying very hard to get over it. But it's just like, I want to punch everyone in that video in the face. And I don't want to feel like that.
Chris.
Maybe I've got personal issues.
You.
But I just... like, and it feels to me like somewhere they were like, how, and it's exactly what Adam was saying. It's like, how do we appeal to more people? I don't know. Dumb it down and make it like Dora the Explorer. No, that's not. Don't do that. Which is a shame because the game looks really cool.
I think they wanted that cartooniness and they wanted that silliness because it's supposed to feel frantic.
Look, Rick and Morty is cartoony.
Silly.
The Simpsons is cartoony. You don't have to be Dora the Explorer.
Well, I agree. But once you put on a VR headset, all everyone's doing is hot micing and cussing and breathing. Just fuck.
Well,
across the whole board, like you're in a lobby of people deep breathing and saying fuck because everyone's sweaty and everyone's unhappy and everyone's just fucking miserably punching their desk over and over again. Yeah.
Well, think of it.
It's a dark world you live in, Brett.
Play more VR.
In a way, it's like think of it like a VR Hungry Hippos. Everything's colorful. Everything's kind of like visceral because it's the style. It is a style choice that they made, but the point is that there's some actions you have to do so quickly. You don't want to be like it's not supposed to be like the space shuttle control board. Where you're looking for one switch out of 5,000.
I want it to be more realistic. It's just this is
marketed towards the young,
childish, I guess. Just visually.
Play it.
Those damn kids.
It's me. I'm the child.
I don't. It's again. This is a matter of opinion, right? This is a stylistic opinion. This is not a criticism on the developers or anything like that. It's a stylistic choice that they made. I just personally had to force myself to even finish the video because it just felt very much like it felt very commercial. I guess is the word.
Okay. Damn kids, get off my virtual lawn.
I know, right? Just it. I felt very pandered to when I watched this video for some reason. Just the whole visual look of everything made me feel
personally.
Very
Man, maybe they didn't do
fucking Trevor.
That's what it is. You just don't like Trevor.
I think I just don't like things that look commercial. I don't know. Maybe it's just I totally should. Preface this, but I guess it's too late to preface anything, but I should certainly say that, like, this is just my opinion about the visuals, right? This is not a criticism of, it's not well done or anything like that. It's just a stylistic choice that they made, and I can't stand it.
And maybe it was just the way they advertised it to you, too.
Maybe.
the goofy voices.
Because if they had put it in into a Star Trek.
You know what? It reminded me of like those bad commercials from the 90s where they were selling this extreme chewing gum will really make your parents hate you. Like it had that kind of feeling to it, What was the old David Cross episode? Squagles, bagels that are square. It was like really... These aren't your mother's bagels. Like it felt like that to me, right? It felt very like those 90s.
I hate to do it to you, Chris. I hate to do it to you, but I'm gonna need everybody in chat that recognizes a David Cross reference to give us some indication that you're older than 12
We already did this last week.
I know we did.
We did not win last week. So.
We lost this last week
to Daria, which is way newer.
All right, guys. So that is all of our games. That is it for the Noobcast this week. I definitely want to thank the panel. Allie, Chris, Kate, Brick, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Man.
Bye.
Mic off.
We are. Oh, that's right. We're doing the raffle, shit, guys.
The raffle.
The wheel.
We got a wheel. We got a wheel coming from Fred.
Wait, is it too late for me to get in on it? What do I have to type to get in the wheel?
You have to put hashtag give me the wheel.
I don't want whatever you're giving away anyway. I don't have time to. I have like 500 games on my Steam library. I don't
give
know
me the
how to
wheel
play already.
Hashtag give me the wheel.
Wheel of morality.
Also, everybody that likes good comedy should go see Mr. Show, which is David Cross's. Anyway, I'm 100.
If you haven't listened to David Cross's stand-up, you should go to Spotify and listen to David Cross's stand-up. That is some of the funniest shit ever.
No,
You nailed it. I think you nailed it.
Well done.
There was like 43 syllables in that name somehow, but congratulations. All right. So we will be back again next week, same time. 6:30 Mountain Time, the only time zone that exists. 8:30 Eastern. We'll be giving away more games, talking about next week's games coming out. So if you enjoyed the podcast, guys, hit the follow button. Thank you so much for coming by, and we will see you next week. Bye, Twitch.
Boom.
Bye.